Okay guys, we're going to start with the ingredients that you need. We have our spice mix, which is detailed in the description below. We have tofu. I used firm works best for this dish, an onion, coconut milk, tomato paste, ginger, garlic, and the rest are garnishes. We have our fenugreek, we have 2 chilies, 2 peppers, and cilantro. The only things that aren't pictured here are oil that we use to fry and also to saute the onions, and also the flour that we used to coat the tofu. Part carefully because it's super important. First, I'm going to remove the water this way from the tofu. Then I'm going to squeeze it to further dehydrate the tofu. Now you can leave it overnight with something heavy on top, or you can leave it to dry overnight. But I just did not have the patience for it. I just did a little shortcut and did it this way, making sure not to break the block, because I wanted even cubes, which you will later see. Okay, now I'm just going to chop it into cubes. I want to make sure that they're not too small or not too big. I just want it to be a bite size, a good size to bite into, and something that resembles meat. Just a reminder, in case you miss anything, all details are in the description below, along with all products that I used. So please do check that out. Okay, for this part I used besan, which is basically ground chickpea powder. You can use regular flour. Besan really makes it a little crispier as opposed to flour, but I guess you can coat it, you can do a thick coat of flour and it'll be just as crispy, so no biggie. But here I'm just coating the tofu with the besan, with the chickpea flour, before frying it. Another important thing to note is that I did not really measure out the flour because it varies each time that you make it. In a frying pan, I'm just going to heat up some oil. I'm using olive oil, so I'm going to make sure to keep my heat on medium. And now in goes the tofu. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. I don't know, is it just me, or do you guys love that sizzling sound as well? And we're just going to slightly fry them till they're golden brown. You don't want to get it too dark, because then it just tastes bitter and gross, and nobody wants that. But you do want to make sure not to overcook them. Keep them a little juicy so they soak up all the spices from the curry. Next, as usual, we are just frying some onions. Now, I wouldn't say frying because it's not deep frying, but we are just browning some onions in already heated oil. I used about 1/4 of a cup for the oil. I used a whole onion. And I'm thinking of making a curry base video where I just go over, because all the curries have a similar base. I just go over that. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. The onion is browned to perfection. We add our garlic and ginger. Also get a nice brown char on that as well. Add a little water so it doesn't stick to the bottom of the pan. After this, it's time for the spices. So the spices I used maybe 5 to 7 spices, and I'll just list them in the description below. But it has the usual turmeric, not curry powder, turmeric, garam masala, some chili, some Kashmiri chili powder that I always use, and it has a nice mix that I think it's better if I just put it in the description below. And goes some water so again it doesn't stick to the pan. When our base is reduced down to this, we're going to go in with 1 cup of tomato paste. And you want to mix it in before going in with the tofu. You want to mix it and you want to cook it a little bit, so that way the spices and the tomato paste and all that good delicious base just all infuses together. Now in goes the tofu. As you can tell, like, I didn't brown it all the way because again I wanted it to have like a little bit of that squish factor. This way it absorbs like the spices and the juices better. And just a little tip, anytime you're cooking like meat or tofu or anything that needs to absorb flavors, it could even be pasta and sauce, you want to cover it just so the flavors can really marry each other. Okay, this is the fun part. I love watching the colors change. This is when I add the coconut milk. You want to make sure it's full fat. If that's too heavy for you, you can go in with 50% full fat and then 50% like reduced fat. I use a whole can for this, so you can use like half a can and half a can. Oof, just look at that. It is so, I wish you guys could taste it. It is literally so creamy and so spicy and just, delicious. It's literally one of my favorite vegan dishes. I thought I was recording, but it wasn't recording, and I added the fenugreek and I covered it for like a minute or 2 just to soften it since I had dried fenugreek. And now I'm just gonna top my curry, and that's it. It's good to go now. Get ready to eat. This is what it finally looks like, and I decided to have mine with roti. It's really good on top of white rice as well. Ugh, this was my favorite part, honestly. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe. And there's little old me with my with my crooked glasses. Alright, see you guys Friday.